Okay.
Is drag expensive?
Very, very expensive.
It feels like it would be.
I have to wear 5 pairs of tights at one time and a pair of fishnets. Tights cost $18 a piece. So 18 times 5, my fishnets are $32. So that's just on tights.
See, in many
So think
ways,
about
it's
that.
harder to be a man than a woman, if you really think of it in this context.
Well, it's like I got into a big festival, and it was the year that the head of the festival raped a bunch of people. Something happened.
Oh, yes.
Some other female comics and whatever. I hate even saying that, but they denounced their spots. I go, what? And so a dude is going to take a spot. I didn't rape no one.
Yeah.
I raped zero people. The dude and maybe some other dudes raped some people. I can tell you for sure who didn't rape. Really, any of the female comics, okay? With at least rapey on the thing, okay? And now I'm going to give up my spot as a queer girl. Dudes who are also rapists feel some guilt about that. Go, you know what? I raped a couple years ago. I'm going to step this one out. Fine. But why did you put it on the innocent women? I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whole backwards. I'm like, just give more women who didn't rape. And then if a couple guys have a guilty conscience about it and want to step down, fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go there, make jokes about the guy.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell my family?
Yeah.
Some guy who I assume is a pervert anyway. When somebody tells me somebody was a pervert, I go, yeah. I'm figuring a lot of them are.
Pervert until proven innocent, I think.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of blonde Jews.
I know.
You're a rare breed.
I'm like 100% Ashkenazi.
Do the Hasids, do they know when they see you? Do they come up to you?
They do.
They do. So they
do.
can tell.
I feel bad. I sometimes lie if I'm like in a rush. And you have to wrap the tefillin. It takes a while.
I did the tefillin one. Every time they want me to do a tefillin, I said I did it once.
What is that?
You wrap this like, what is it, leather, plastic?
The real ones are leather.
You wrap it,
Yeah.
and there's like a cube thing, and it goes around.
Yes.
Around. You put it on your head,
Yes.
and then do you say a prayer, or
Yes, you say a prayer, yes. You're supposed to do it 5 times a day.
And if you say why, it's just like is it mitzvah? It's a mitzvah. It's a good
It's a mitzvah.
thing. This is why there's more Christians, because they're like, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. Jews are like, do this. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's not going to spread.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a lot of converts with that kind of thinking. You need
Yeah.
to say, if you don't do this, you don't do the
You
tefillin.
burn. You burn.
You're going to get recircumcised.
Yeah.
With more. We're going to take a little more off. I don't know what part. That guy from Glee it will always be so
Oh my
wild
God.
to me. It's only because so he could have like one dream sequence
Yeah.
where he gets out of the chair and like does a funky choreography.
Yeah.
I'm a kid obsessed with Glee. So I really just like enjoyed it, and I thought, oh, wonderful. I am being represented. I am a disabled person who's in high school, and there's a disabled person who's in high school, even though he's not a disabled. And then he gets out of the chair, and that is when I freaked the fuck out. Maybe there are some people who often fantasize about getting up and doing a show-stopping number, but I have dreamed of being on Broadway and being at the center of a kick line for my entire life, and never once was I ever imagining that the walker would go away. I was just dreaming that there would be scores of hunky men who would throw me around the stage and make me feel attractive. Any great Broadway diva who didn't want to tap dance and just stood there at the center and smiled. That's who I wanted to be.
I remember one time we went to like an FFA, the Future Farmers of America. It's massive. Most people listening will know what it is, I think. We were going to a conference. You would go and like they'd tell you how to judge cattle or whatever. We were on the bus about to go into the hotel, and guys shared rooms with guys and girls shared rooms with girls. You know, really encouraging homosexuality. And our old teacher that was in charge of us, he stood up and he was so ancient. He stood up at the front of the bus and said, "This one's for the boys. Boys, you're going to be sharing beds. And I just want you to remember that," and he's not kidding. He's being earnestly like, giving us advice. "I just want you to remember this. Poles to poles isn't gay. Holes to holes isn't gay. Pole to hole is gay. Let's go." And that was like the only thing he said to us before this conference was, don't sleep with your dick to someone else's butt, because that's gay. You can look at each other. You can face away from each other. You cannot.
So he didn't know about docking.
No. And he didn't know about the intimacy of looking into another man's eyes.
You have a gun.
Yes.
What kind of gun?
Smith & Wesson M&P Shield with a laser sight. I bought it on Election Day 2020. And I bought it because of Election Day 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it crowded?
Oh, it was crowded with black people and Asians in Georgia.
You're serious? That day there was like an
Absolutely.
influx?
Absolutely.
God, the NRA just can't lose, man. They just win every goddamn time somehow.
Because I was trying to find a gun store that was not a Trump supporting store in Georgia. Good luck.
Wait, you were looking for
I
like
really was
the
trying.
liberal gun store?
Gun store.
Where's the gun store with the I'm with her sticker in the front?
So fucking funny.
Every gun store I've ever seen has a picture of Hillary Clinton as the target. Are you a good shot?
Yeah, I'm a good shot. I was told by white men.
Wow. Did
have
they
a
tell
good
you a little bit
shot.
scared? Were they like, you're a really good shot? It was 80th birthday party. The woman before me talked about the Holocaust and cried, and then they brought me on stage.
Yeah, that's my life. My life. Are you kidding me? I did a fundraiser for a Holocaust museum. The guy that spoke before me talked about. He goes, in Auschwitz, when you wanted to kill yourself, you knew you could just run onto the fence. It was electrical, and you'd just be fried. And he was running towards the fence to kill himself, and all of a sudden he hears the singing of Mao's Tzur, the song you sing during Hanukkah. He goes, oh my God, it's Hanukkah. And then he just turned around and didn't kill himself. And here's Modi. That's my life.
And we took a one-day birthing crash course at the hospital where my son was born. You sit in a room with a few other nervous couples.
Okay.
And then this nurse threw open the door and she goes, okay, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in that room. They're going to make you want to freak out. Here's everything you need to know so you don't freak out. And then she just talked for an hour. Your baby might be born covered in wax. Your baby might be born blue. Don't freak out. You might think your baby's dead if it doesn't cry right away. No, don't freak out. They might need to clear the mucus out, so stop freaking out. It'll stress everybody out around you. Don't freak out. A few people had brought pens and pads, but most of us were just like taking out their phones and just like desperately trying to take notes on what she was saying because it was nuts. There was something that was racist. It was like sometimes these babies have these crazy birthmarks on their bodies. They're really big. They call them stork bites. With black babies, they call them Mongolian bites. Don't freak out. And it was just like, what? There's like different names for the races.
It's just you calling
Mongolian
them. No one else is calling it. You're the one.
It was crazy. Don't freak out. Just
I like a wife telling her husband, don't write down that part.
I know.
Yeah.
In terms of the rules for the strip club, like, what's the most? Are you hitting them in the face with your boobs?
I had one dude pay me $500 to try to give him a black eye with a tit, so I just kept like hitting him with my boob in his face.
Now, what was the? Was it a?
No,
this, or was
he
it
was
a,
just
what?
he was just at the bar, and like I would just smack him around with my tit, and I always have armored rings. That's what these. So I just used my ring to kind of hit him a little bit, so it would get like actually.
So
get
the
him
ref
hard.
is going like, foul. That's not a
not
tit.
at
That's a
all,
full
no.
He
fist.
specifically wanted a black eye.
Yeah, no,
But
he wanted.
Did he go and look in the mirror? Like, how did he?
He gave it to you.
He
He
gave it to
wanted.
you.
you
Yeah,
to
no, he
try.
just wanted me to hit him with my tit, and
Oh.
that's it. Yeah, because men are dumb.
Listen, we have a lot of weird sports these days, and I think that would be a great Olympic sport that Americans would excel at. This is about your wife. Jesus, the look. I don't mean to be too blue at the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
We went to see a show, my girlfriend and I, with your wonderful wife.
Oh my God.
And we were walking to the car, and your wife said, "Oh, did somebody fart?" And now there's three of us there. And now when she says this, she knows she's not one of them. So I do what I normally do. I go, I don't notice anything. And I mean, literally, you can't even see. That's how intense this fart was. So, well, Tova and I convene. So then I say, oh, I don't smell anything. And we get in the car, and your wife goes, no, there's someone definitely farted. And I go to convene later on with Tova, and we found out that it was both of us.